This is Andy Purewell for Boxing News. It is Charlie Edwards joining me now. The night before a big fight for yourself, Charlie. How are you feeling? Obviously, all weighed in now, and I assume you're refueling.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Cool, calm, and collective. Feel great. Feel nice and relaxed, chilling with my team, switching off. Don't need to be switched on right now. Do that tomorrow. Wake up, start to get into fight mode. And yeah, man, I'm just in a good place, Andy. I'm really happy. I've got to say it. I'm really, really happy. And I just want to say a massive thank you to Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on this journey because now I've found faith and I've been brought back from the darkness. I feel at peace and being at peace in the mind and having that blind faith coming on fight night. I feel powerful, man. I feel I feel that God is with me. I feel this is my destiny. And Friday night is going to be a movie, and I'm looking forward to it. I've prayed for so long to get back to this moment, man. Big time boxing. The fight week's built up great. All credit to Thomas Essomba. Big respect for playing his part and getting a little bit angry. I think I might have pulled a little bit out of him, which is going to heat up for a lovely fight. It's been a fun week. I've enjoyed every moment of it. But when we wake up tomorrow, we switch on and it's all systems go.
The general consensus, Charlie, when people speak about your fight with Thomas is they lean towards you coming out on top. But one thing which Thomas has in his favour is obviously he's been a bit more active over the years, and he's a very live opponent as well. We know that he's competed in and around British and European level for a number of years now.
Yeah.
Um, How dangerous of a fight is this for you, and how exciting of a prospect is it for you to face somebody with kind of that danger element that he's bringing to the fight?
If I'm honest, Andy, I feel like every fight for me is a dangerous fight. I've reached the top of the mountain. I've had the inactivity, and some people say inactivity is a bad thing. I feel like it's done me the world of good. I'm fresh. I'm 31 years of age. Don't forget, I fought for my first world title when I was 23, well ahead of schedule. I won it at 25, propelled into the massive fights and massive nights. And now, these last few years, although I looked at it in a negative mindset before, I think it's been the blessing in disguise that my career has needed. And when I go back and say, it's God's plan. Like He's created a character in me and created who I am now for this step of the journey. I've been in the gym constantly. I've been living the life constantly. I've cleaned up my whole life. I'm in a positive light. My mind's positive. I've got positive people around me. I've got a great team. I've had time to select the team that is going to take me to the highest of heights. So, um, yeah, Thomas holds threat. Of course he does. He's been very active, but don't forget, he's 36 years of age. Camp to camp to camp. I don't underestimate him. I've prepared better than I've prepared my whole career. The best Charlie Edwards tomorrow night gets in the ring. And I know what the best Charlie Edwards does. My brother knows what the best Charlie Edwards does because the only one who's ever beat me is myself. And my mindset's in a very, very strong place. I've walked through the fire, um, just like Daniel Dubois has. I hold a very lot of inspiration from that guy, especially watching his fight at the weekend and how everything went. Um, he, Mine and his careers fit very similar. I actually sparred with him when he was a 14-year-old kid and I was an 18-year-old senior, and he was always a good fighter. So our careers have always propelled in the same kind of fashion. And like this is my redemption story. This is my resurgence. And I know what Thomas holds, and I've got a lot of respect for him. But I'm afraid your time's up, Thomas. This is now Charlie Edwards' destiny, you know, and I'm walking with blind faith, faith over fear, and the European title, a beautiful belt that I've wanted to hold since I was just turning over pro. I always looked at that. I always fancied that belt. And I've lived and breathed the sport of boxing, and now I think it's time to reap the rewards I have sown.
Charlie, how does this fight play out in your mind when you step between the ropes tomorrow night?
I'm not going to give too much away. That would be silly of me. Um, I've covered all angles. Me and Stephen, ultimate technician. I've been preparing for Thomas for near on off a year. I wanted him in my first fight back, but Channel 5 and the budgets, it wasn't able to be made. So that's why I picked Jorge Ori, who is, bearing in mind, a great fighter, former European champion, IBO world champion, coming off an activity 6 fight win streak, you know, and he was a southpaw who switched hit. Like this has all been planned. This isn't by chance. I've wanted this fight and I've run for to this fight because I've understand that this is what's going to propel my career back. And thank God for my brother, Sonny Edwards, being his manager, doing a good manager's duty. I'm not going to slag him. He's putting his fighter to me on a plate. It's my own will that I have to go and deliver. Yeah. But he's doing the best thing for his fighter. Thomas Essomba tried to get someone else. That fight didn't materialize. It fell through. So the next best fight, I want the first choice. The next best fight was Charlie Edwards, biggest payday, you know? And he's done a great job. And this is Thomas's biggest payday, but it's also his biggest opportunity and shot. However, because I've been so messed around, it's built an inner desire and belief in me. And it's took me to a whole new level. I'm vibing and feeling on a completely different frequency now. I'm performing at a really, really high frequency. And I'm back like I've never left, better than before, better than ever. And no matter what Thomas does, I've got an answer for in every which area. And I will set everything up and I'll dissect him and expose the champion. And I believe tomorrow people open their eyes and take me serious.
Charlie, obviously, one of the interesting storylines of this entire build-up, as you mentioned his name earlier, your brother Sonny, managing Thomas. I interviewed him last week and I asked him kind of, will you be able to kind of separate any emotional feelings he has watching his brother fight, kind of a person who he manages? And he says he'll have to, he'll have no choice to, and he'll be able to do so. What's the dialogue and the kind of relationship been like between the pair of you in the build up to this entire kind of fight?
Then it's respect, like in a backward sort of way. Feels like it's brought us closer together, which I never really thought. I thought it was going to get nasty and get the build up, but to be fair, he's been respectable and he's not going in the corner. He's said that. So I feel like maybe he is feeling his emotional side, and maybe he is taking himself away from it. He says he's gonna have to disattach himself. I'm sorry, on fight night, when your brother fights, there's no disattaching any emotions because you're not in control. You worry, you panic. That's your blood. That's someone you've grown up with and loved for many of years. Yeah, you have your fallouts, but it's nothing's changing. That's your brother. Do you know what I mean? So all due respect to him. And same again, it's been a build up that's been fun. Um, there's been some serious bits and bobs along the way, and we've had a little back and forward, and like it's thing. But come on, man, that's brotherly love. Like I love my brother to death, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful. I'm coming back into the light, and this is what I need.
Do you still foresee a future where we see the pair of you on the same card together?
Yeah, most definitely. I would never say never. Who knows what the future holds? It's probably definitely something we would like to do on our journey. Um, maybe we can pull Kal Yafai out of retirement. Nah, I'm only messing. But yeah, man, we'll see what the future holds. But right now, let's focus on Friday night. Tomorrow night is all I'm worried about. Laser light focus, super confident, know what I've been doing, been watching, studying. Everything's been to the highest of levels. And tomorrow we'll see what Charlie Edwards shows up. But I believe it's the best Charlie Edwards ever stepped foot in the ring. And I believe I'm going to show how good I really am.
Charlie, obviously, I know you don't want to get distracted by what might lie ahead, so we'll stick with this fight and kind of moving on to Sonny's. We know he's got his fight with Galal fight coming up.
Yeah.
It's a family rivalry which is being ignited. I'm sure at some point yourself, and as you mentioned earlier, certain Kal Yafai would have crossed paths. We haven't seen that, but instead we get Galal and Sonny. What's your thoughts on that fight when we draw closer to November 30th?
It's a great fight, you know, a great fight. An Olympic gold medalist against a former world champion. The build-up's going to be amazing. It's going to be great for the fans and viewers who want to tune in. We know Sonny doesn't hold his words. I think he might get Galal going as well. It would be silly for Galal to sit around and not say anything or promote the fight in any way. Maybe he will do that. Um, but it's a massive fight for the flyweight division in Britain, and it's one that many people are going to tune into, you know. So it really is let the best man win. I'm not going to sit here and put any opinions on that. Like I said, I'm focused about tomorrow, and I'm not getting involved in all that kind of energy. And yeah, man, I'm happy Sonny's got that fight. You know, he's turned the flyweight division after me into a big division, and it's good for the Edwards name and the Edwards legacy. So yeah, see what the future holds. Only time's going to tell.
I do just want to ask, like, not on the fight, but we know Sonny and Galal have both spoken about sparring each other previously. I imagine you may well have watched them spar at certain points as well. But have you ever done any rounds with Galal?
No, Galal was after my time on the GB team. I've never done any rounds with him. Um, I'm not sure if it's the Kal Yafai situation because I would have liked to have done some rounds with him before this Thomas fight, as I well said. I think it would have been ideal, but we didn't get a response on that note. Um, so it is what it is. I think the Cal situation with me wanting him to fight him and him running off and me exposing him for what he was probably has left a bad taste in the Yafai's mouth and probably wouldn't have wanted to do that. So it is what it is.
Uh, Just as you mentioned, when I ask one question on you, I know obviously we're not going to see it now, and there's nothing that more that could have been done to try and make it. But do you feel like when all is said and done with your career, that's the one fight which you'll have regrets that you just never quite was able to get it over the line?
Yeah, it's the one that got away, I suppose. But like I said, I'm fully focused on tomorrow night. Um, I've got a threat in front of me of Thomas Essomba, who we've seen is a formidable opponent, who've seen brings it, who seems don't just lay down and think he's a tough cookie to crack. And focus has to be on him. Like I don't need to go into thinking about anything else other than him. Like I said, I'm relaxed now. I've got the carbs in me. I'm on that stage of fueling up, and I'm at a weight where I will rule dominance. You know, for a long time. The bantamweight division for me is perfect. You know, I think we see on the scales today. I don't think anyone's ever looked so healthy at the weight. You know, and I look, I look, I look muscular now. I've finally filled out, and I look healthy, and um, that's when now you're going to start seeing the best Charlie Edwards ever, the best Charlie Edwards ever, and yeah, man, I look forward to it. Roll on tomorrow night.
Just one final one from me, Charlie. You mentioned earlier taking inspiration from Daniel Dubois' victory this past weekend. I was trying to get your kind of reflections on that fight, his win, and kind of, yeah, the entire event.
Yeah, an unbelievable win from Daniel Dubois. All credit to him and his team. Um, Sad for AJ. I was a friend of his and we traveled the world together and shared rooms along the way on the GB team. But I just think I think how White get the tactics, if I'm completely honest. Um, Coming out with a low lead hand, jabbing from low and chin in the air. For me, that's just like, what are you doing? Like, that's not AJ, is it? So I don't know if he was overthinking things, if he's got caught in between styles, because he only did have one fight with Ben. So it's like you got to ask the questions and you don't understand the answers. Only they understand the answers and realize where they went wrong. But very inspirational from Daniel Dubois. Could it be a passing of the torch moment? I think so. Um, I would like to see AJ take a bit of time out, not retire. I don't believe he should retire if he's really looking himself in the mirror and soul searching and knows this is what I really want to do. Because that's the only way you can be in this game, in this sport of boxing, when you really want it. And I think a little break will do him good. He's always back to back camps, he's always training. And really, has he ever had a break from all these years of success and pressure and everything? So it'd be nice to see him spend like switch off with a family and then reassess. And then if he wants it and he really wants it to come back, I believe perfect opponent for him would be Dillian White because um, that will build a good story again. It will be a trilogy, and also um, Gillian plays a good villain card, so the British public will buy into it. Albeit, I think AJ would win that fight. Dylan holds threat and is dangerous and can punch, so I think that would be a great fight. But other than that, like I would say for AJ to just relax, take a chill pill a little bit, take a step back because coming out and putting that video straight out on social media that I think it was the next day or 2 days after. I get it, but you need to sit with your emotions a little bit more and kind of just like get your head to where you want it because you can put something out there like once upon a time I wanted to retire. I was going to post it everywhere. I'm so glad in my life I never posted that because I was very emotional at that time and everything went on and stuff. So you've got to you've got to like sometimes time is the essence.
Last one on it all then, Charlie. Obviously, we know in the past AJ's immediately ran it back with Andy Ruiz. He immediately ran it back with Alexander Usyk. Granted, he wasn't successful second time round with Usyk. Um, would you advise against a Daniel Dubois rematch?
Straight away. I mean, in 2 or 3 fights when he's solidified his style with Ben and he's completely in the place where he's flying, definitely you'd have to run back a rematch because one punch like that changes the whole fight. Yeah, like it's heavyweight boxing, like there's scary power. Do you know what I mean? Like done well to carry on and keep going and keep fighting back. So you've got to give him credit for the balls he had. Do you know what I mean? So he's always got that inner fight in him. But yeah, I don't see why rush. The heavyweight division's stacked at the minute. There's so many other fights that people will still watch. Let's be real, British boxing. Everyone loves AJ. Win, lose or draw, people are going to tune into him. He's the biggest star on the market. So and as well in this game, it's mad because people like to see people lose, or want to see him lose again, or want to see him come back and resurge and have a comeback story. So when you're in that kind of boat, you get so many options. So AJ will continue to get options and it will be big. But like I said, I'd like to see him just enjoy his life a little bit, try and switch off. It's going to be hard because he's like a mega superstar. You know, I mean, it must be hard, but I wish him all the best and I hope he comes back. Like, I've got a lot of love for AJ.
Right, Charlie, we'll wrap this up now so you can enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for speaking to me. Good luck tomorrow night, and I'll speak to you soon.
Nice one. Thank you. And the new.